Hey guys, I'm Alexa with Strategic Placement Group. Welcome back to our SPG podcast. Joining me today, we have Zachary and Stan. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Good.
You look good.
I do look good.
He does, doesn't he? He does always. I like how you all
Thank you
kind of
for
coordinated.
noticing.
I didn't get the memo on the grade here.
You know, father and son. There's no text about it. We just kind of do it.
Yes, it's like they read each other's
Yeah.
minds. It's
Yeah.
interesting. So today, guys, we are going to talk about the cookie. And this is not like the fun-loving, warm morsel chocolate chips that we were trying to eat earlier.
Those were awful.
They were pretty bad.
They were bad.
Yeah.
You didn't like they
No.
were kind of bad. Sorry.
No.
I brought in some cookies for the thumbnail and they looked good, but it was disappointing. But you are not going to disappoint today when it comes to talking about this topic. So
I hope not.
What is it? Let's tell everybody at home, what is a cookie when it comes to the internet? Yes?
Yeah. So again, thanks for the video today, everybody watching. We want to just give a quick little synopsis of what's going on
Okay.
in the marketing space as it relates to this thing that you've been hearing about, the death of the cookie, what are cookies, and so forth. So your question, what is a cookie?
That's right. What is a cookie?
Basically, it's just a small piece of data that is used from a web server to help identify you as a user to a website, also for tracking purposes of what you may have engaged with on the site. So example,
Okay.
One of the questions that I think we get a lot are cookies bad?
Okay.
And I think the answer to that is they're neither good nor bad.
And why is that? Because I would tend to agree with that. I mean, you're scrolling through something or you're searching a website and you get that notification, have to accept, and there's that part of you that's like, am I supposed to do this? Why do you even need me to accept
Well,
this?
I feel
Why
like they
can't I
think it's a
just-
bad thing.
Yeah.
Well, let me rephrase of thinking it's neither good nor bad and say the good might cancel out the bad.
Okay.
It depends on your viewpoint. For example, in today's use of the internet, cookies have made convenience possible.
Okay.
Right. So, for example, you go to a website that you frequent often,
Right.
and you have your browser remember your login.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. If there were no cookies, that doesn't happen.
Oh.
Okay. So that's
Okay.
kind of a good thing for convenience,
right. I
right?
could
Not just
see-
tracking you.
No.
It's also helping you.
Yeah.
It's designed
the
to help
fact,
you.
Yeah, the fact that I can go to my Google and not have to constantly sign in, and it just is always there.
Always there. Now,
Okay,
now
I could see that.
maybe a bad side of the coin is, let's say, anything you're shopping for online, and whatever you see, that thing is following you around everywhere you go
Yeah.
to try and get you to come back and buy it. That's also the cookie. So again, I guess there could be a good and a bad depending on your viewpoint. But the reality is they've been there for a long time, and their intended use is bits of code to make the online experience better for the person. Now,
the shopper.
it also
Okay.
makes the experience better for the advertiser,
Right.
right? That's where we talked about last week on data provide.
But you're saying this is not something that's new.
No.
Because,
No.
like we were just saying, for me, now that it's becoming more apparent, you have to accept to have these
In your face.
Yeah,
your face.
it really is in your face.
But why are they just now making it a huge deal?
Well, now that is an excellent question. Let me pull up something here to give the proper
It's always good to be proper.
explanation.
That's helpful. Yes.
So two things
Okay.
that, again, you watching, hopefully many of you, are have seen. One is the term GDPR, which is the General Data Protection Regulation. It's a European Union law that went into
Okay.
effect in, I think, 2018. And essentially, it outlines the privacy and security requirements for anyone providing goods and services in the EU.
Okay.
Right. So if you're a U.S. business and you are conducting business in the EU,
Right.
you would need to follow the requirements of the GDPR. One of those being you have to identify to a user of your site that you are collecting data via cookies.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And give
Okay.
an opt-in, opt-out ability for them to proceed.
Gotcha.
So that, in a nutshell,
what that is.
we can go into
Does-
way detail on that, but in the essence of time, in a nutshell.
Right. Do you think people just walk around there like, no?
Well, that's interesting too. So that brings us to a U.S. regulation from a couple years ago, the CCPA, which is the California Consumer Protection Act,
Okay.
CCPA. And I did find the requirements for that. We get a lot of questions from people, business owners, say, well, my goodness, what does that mean for me and my business?
Right.
You know, that's scary. I don't know what I need to do,
Right.
you know, to make sure that I don't get sued.
Yeah.
Right. So as of right now, I'll read the 3 requirements here.
Okay.
Now, this is the CCPA applies to for-profit businesses that do business in California and have to meet any one of the following 3 requirements. So I'll just read that directly from their website. You have to have a gross annual revenue of over $25 million. It's
It's a lot of money.
a lot of money.
Okay.
Or you buy, receive, or sell the personal information of 50,000 or more California residents, households, or devices.
It's a lot of people.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
people. Or, last one, you derive 50% or more of your annual revenue from selling the personal information of California residents.
A lot of people and money.
Yes. So, you know, we've targeted our videos to the small business
Right. Right.
owner.
So how does sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to
Everything-
say, yeah, I, you know, the people I think that we are trying to target in the small business environment, most of them are not going to meet these requirements. And They have
Okay.
over 25 million in annual revenue.
Right.
I don't know that we work with anybody that derives any amount of their revenue from selling the personal information of California residents, much less 50% of it.
Right.
Nor do we personally work with people who buy or sell any personal information of over 50,000 California residents. So I don't see historically for us and who I believe that we're targeting in the videos that this would have any major effect
Too
to.
much. And this might be a silly question, but everything you're referencing is California residents.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
which
is the only major law in the states right now
Okay.
that has this kind of effect as it relates to the use of website cookies.
Why have they
Okay.
based it mostly around California?
California. Yeah.
Well, that's just California.
Oh.
So, I mean, are they thinking it's going to start, other states are going to start implementing this?
Did you see my shirt I was wearing yesterday?
No.
Don't California my Tennessee?
Oh, yeah. We
Yeah.
don't want
Yeah.
that.
We don't want that.
We don't want that.
Sorry, California.
So all the other states are going to take after California. Well, that's what
Possibly.
they're thinking.
Possibly. Here's the other thing that I mentioned last week. No one really knows what eventually this is going to mean for the U.S. for us companies. There has been active talk for legislation in Washington to come up with some sort of variant similar to the GDPR in the European Union. What that will actually look like, we really don't know.
Right.
No one really knows yet. Now, Apple, we're trying to talk about Apple real briefly here, and we'll cut this podcast off, but Apple most likely has more than $25 million in
Right.
revenue, right?
So is that
and they also probably buy and receive and sell information of more than 50,000 California residents, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see their books, but I'm guessing. So the iOS 14 that they released recently, that, I think, to talk about, Zach, real quick, as it relates to Facebook. If you've been advertising on Facebook at all over the last couple months, you know, you've seen some issues and some problems. So
Yeah,
if you don't care, talk about that.
I didn't see anywhere to where it had any requirements like that. It was like everyone falls under this big pool. So you're automatically going to be targeted by it no matter what. So you don't have
really?
to, yeah.
So it's not broken up.
Yeah,
like
not-
what
and
what
we-
stands reading.
We've got it affected by it already. So with detailed targeting, conversion events, and then optimization for your ads, those are all affected by iOS 14.
Right.
And statistics by it, people are not opting into this. Worldwide, there's been a 15% opt-in rate.
Really?
And then in the U.S., a 6%. And this is as the end of May. So, I mean, we're missing a whole month there, but we just now got into July.
right.
So really it's going to affect, if you, the advertiser, are running ads, their website that you want to have a conversion ad type on that, that's when you're going to get affected by it mostly. You can, like I said, you're going to run into problems with targeting and optimization, but mostly you're going to be affected by the events.
Well, explain that a little more in depth, though, for for some of our business owners that have just started maybe advertising and buying ads themselves on Facebook. So that conversion rate, and I mean, how does all that affect them?
So let's say you have a car dealership and you want to track the leads and how many people view a certain vehicle.
Okay.
The options that you have are going to be extremely limited. So you're only going to have, before you had like 8 different options per one event. Now you have like 2. So they're cutting all that back drastically. And it's really affecting how we, the advertiser, can get across to the consumer.
Does it affect the spend? Like, you know, Facebook ads are pretty popular when you're first starting out.
Yeah.
You can start pretty low budget.
Yeah.
I mean, is this...
You're going to tend to have to spend higher just because you aren't able to optimize your ad properly like how you did before. There's so much in-depth options that you could do, and now that's just taken away at like the blink of an eye. So you kind of just have to work with what you have, really.
Right.
So
yeah.
Right, that's crazy. Well, it's such a complicated topic. It sounds like, and it sounds like there's so much more information that we're going to be hearing about this. And
I think what we should do is agree live on air. We're not really live, but on air, that we dive into these topics in a little more detail as time goes on. In the essence of time here for this podcast, to keep it kind of short to the point. But then if you can, please stay with us, subscribe, like, share this thing, and stay tuned for other ones.
Right. Well, because there's only so much that can be said about this right now.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to let you guys know at home that we're going to keep giving that information to you all as we receive it. And as these guys keep researching it, because it's like Stan likes to point out, it's so complicated. It's so complex.
Always changing.
I feel like every time I'm talking to these guys, they're giving new information about this stuff. And it's like, I just feel like we just figured this out. And Zach's like, okay, well, here we go again. You know, but now this is the way we got to do it.
Surprise.
Yes.
Surprise.
That's right. So it is kind of complicated, but we're here for you all, and we're going to keep researching this and figuring it out. So if you have any questions, we invite you to come down and see us here at our office. Give us a call. You can find us on our Facebook or our website or, you know.
Anywhere.
Yeah, driving down the road.
You can't get away from us.
Yeah, that's right, you can't. So we hope this has been helpful today. We've enjoyed being with you. And like we always say, guys,
Until next time.
Until next time.